There we go. Okay, as promised, I am going to talk about The Walking Dead now. And... okay, anyway, sorry, distracted. Just finished episode 5. Actually, on Christmas night. There is any disappointment in Walking Dead episode 5. It's the fact that I've had to say goodbye to more favorite characters in that game than any other game. I mentioned at episode 3 how shocked I was that I'm becoming good friends with this one character and then she gets shot and dies right in front of me. And how I had to kill another character later on because a child, no less, Duck, because he was bitten. And another character, Duck's mother, because she killed herself. Yeah, spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't played this, which you should. You should play every episode of The Walking Dead. The game is fucking fantastic. That did not prepare me for episode 5. A little backstory for anyone who had, or is a little rusty. Clementine at the end of episode 4 is missing, and that Lee, your character, is bitten. Episode 5 picks up with Lee trying to find a way out of the hospital they're in, only to pass out and wake up to his best friend about to cut off his arm that's bitten. I went through with having them cut my arm off, just in case. Did not make the rest of it any easier. How do I put this? Kenny, whose wife killed herself in front of him, he had to be there for his son being bitten and then killed by you. Left pretty much all alone. He kind of starts to turn on you after a while. And even though you get mad at him, you kind of understand why. But he forgives you if you do what I did. You could go about this multiple ways. And, well, it pays off. Your only lifeline to Clementine's a walkie-talkie, and when it falls into a hole, and one of your other group members gets stuck in that hole, Kenny jumps in to fight the zombies and help her out. And dies. While I was upset, I was more irate that Kenny died, but I was glad of how they wrote it. He died the death he deserves. He was a hero in it. And then the game starts tugging at you. If you couldn't tell by how I said Lee was bitten, yeah, Lee dies. Like I said, spoilers are going to be in this video, because I'm assuming everyone who's played it has already played it, or who wants to play it has already played it. But I have to give the writers credit. They didn't make Lee's transformation to a zombie goofy or anything, or, cliche. You see his body change as the episode progresses. And when he's talking to Clementine, giving her tips like keep your hair short, or stay at a farm or in an open field where there's no one there practically. He blacks out. Clementine panics, goes, "What? What?" And he looks at her and goes, "I'll miss you." My feels, okay? You see, Cammy has Supernatural. I have the Walking Dead games. And frankly, I think the games are more emotional. That's my opinion, and Cammy will argue with me hand over fist about how wrong I am. But I seriously think Telltale has outdone themselves with this. I mean, I loved their take on Sam and Max. Absolutely stunning. Well, except for Season 3, I wasn't a big fan of that one. Kind of depressing with Season 3, not in the good way. Back to the Future, I wish they'd do another installment of, because that was absolutely awesome. Very well done. Walking Dead, when they said, yes, we're doing a Season 2, before I played Episode 5, that made me fucking ecstatic. And now that I've played Episode 5, I want to see where they go. I mean, the way I see it, they can continue Clementine's story as she is now, and have Krista and Omid find her, or another group of people find her, but I don't think it'd have the same effect. Or it could be a few years down the line, Clementine's older, or, you know, just the potential for character growth in that series alone is phenomenal. Now, a lot of people are like, well, the game's only popular now because of the show. The game has nothing to do with the show, surprisingly. It's based on the comic, which I know the show's based on the comic, but for God's sakes, Rick still has both his hands. If they were really faithful to the comic, he would have cut one off by now. Kind of like Lee. I love you too, Bear. Rat just yawned. In the comic, the game, while based on the comic, is a separate story aside from the comic. And it is a story that is just very well told. Very emotional. I went into it thinking it was going to be a horror game. It's not about the zombie apocalypse, it's about people. It's about surviving it. It's about surviving in general. You could take the zombies out and replace them with axe-wielding maniacs. Hell, you could do a video game version of Crossed, if anyone's heard of that comic, and put it as The Walking Dead. Have those creatures there, people infected by this virus that makes them intelligent but murderous zombies who still communicate. And I'm not talking about the new issues where they decide they need to have sex with everything, which is fucking stupid! No, I'm talking about cross rash on their face, eating people, murdering people just because that's the only thing they care about. You could do that in this style, and it would have the same effects because you're not thinking about the monsters, you're thinking about the choices you're going to make to survive. You could take the zombies out of it and have it be about battling the elements, and it would have the same effect. That is well done. Now, granted, I know a lot of people are going to be like, but there's zombies in it. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be zombies in it. Trust me, I'm not. I think my favorite segment in the games are when you're shooting the zombies or trying to find ways around them quietly. But just the choices, just about everything you choose has an effect later in the game, if not at the very end. And I'm not going to ruin the final final scene for you, because let me put it this way: I'm going to play through the whole series again, just so I can make a few choices differently and see if that stays the same. I really, really want to do it. Now, the big thing is at the end of the game, after the credits, it gives you all the characters and their fates, or before their fates, it's what you did with them or for them. Like for Kenny, it's like you fixed the RV, you defended him, and at like the fourth one down, he died saving Krista. Larry, the douchebag, hate him. But it's like, you found his hurt pills, but you killed him in the meat locker. Well, remember Duck? Duck, it says you saved him from the zombie at the farm. These were my choices. You defended him from the group when they thought he was bitten. You killed Duck so his father didn't have, or you killed Duck so his father didn't have to. And I was thinking, okay, why didn't they put that fourth? Because the fourth one's probably the best thing this game has done choice-wise. Because it's so subtle, but it has an impact. Duck helped you solve a mystery. He's your sidekick. And that was in episode 3, the episode he died. And I had him be my sidekick because I figured, he's a kid. He wants to be closer to me. He wants to have fun. Let him. Not knowing what was going to happen to him. And the fact that at the end of the game, he's the last character, they show what you did, his fate, and then after his fate, by the way, here's this thing that was so minuscule at first glance, and it's probably the biggest choice you've made. It makes you feel good about letting him do that, but at the same time, you feel so terrible because he died. And, it's just a game, but at the same time, these people, they feel real at times. The acting, the writing, just brilliant. They don't feel like characters. They feel like they were real people. Not in the, you're my friend type of sense, but that they're three-dimensional, actual human beings in this game. Not just these characters like Kratos wants to kill everything, or Chris Redfield wants to punch rocks at Albert Wesker. You get what I mean. But yeah, if you have not played Episode 5 of The Walking Dead, if you have not played The Walking Dead, play it. Then again, if you hadn't played it, what the hell are you watching this video after I told you there's spoilers in it? And, if you've played it, play it again. See what changes. See what in the story changes. See if the final episode, if that changes, because that's sure as shooting what I'm going to do. But anyway, I got some stuff I need to do. I'm writing a book, which I'll talk about later in the video, eventually. I don't know if I'll have anything up before the new year, but I will try. If I don't, Happy New Year's to everyone, and have a great rest of 2012.